And Stuart here, Stuart Group Real Estate at eXp Realty, and we're talking today about estates and probates and how we sell properties that way. Let me just give you my opinion on this whole thing right out of the gates. If you do not have a trust set up for your assets and something, God forbid, happens to you, probate court is where all your assets sit for 4 to 6 months until the court system decides who's your next of kin or your beneficiary to decide on how this is all taking place. It costs time, it costs money. And it's very simple to go to an estate attorney and get your assets set up. Now you might think, well, I don't have a lot of assets. I have my house and I have my car. Guess what? It's still enough. Please go look into doing a trust. I'm not an estate attorney. I can't give advice on how to set it up. There's a lot of different reasons why you want to set it up in certain ways, but it's worth your while to go look into that. I sell a lot of listings every year and a lot of them are in trusts. And sometimes the people are still alive and they have their properties in trusts. And sometimes it's a family member or a trustee that has the ability to sell properties based on the trust's wishes. If you do not have a trust set up, it goes to probate court where they decide who is the next of kin that's going to be the beneficiary and have to make all the decisions. And it's a real pain in the butt and it costs money. You know, the government likes to take our money if they can, and it gets locked up in probate court until they decide when things get dispersed. So for a small amount of money, in my opinion, you can go to an estate attorney and have them set up your trust. And don't forget your cars, because even cars have to go into your trust. Otherwise they go to probate. Little pro tip. When we go to sell properties, it's very common we see different types of ownership setups. So people get worried about, well, I don't want to put my house in a trust because I don't think I can sell it or refinance it or whatever. Trust me, you can. So just set yourself up, set your family up to do all of that. We have a property going on right now that is a guardianship. Sometimes situations happen where maybe a minor owns the property because of some circumstances, and there's a designated guardian that is there of age to help that person sell the property. We see all kinds of stuff on title of how somebody is designated to sell a property, but don't be afraid to put your property in a trust. Don't be afraid to look into doing this, because we also deal with probates. And I can tell you that people in probate, when a family member or a next of kin is the one responsible to deal with the entirety of the probate process, which, like I said, it can take up to 6 months. It's pretty exhausting for them. It's time consuming. There's a lot of monies that they have to, allocate for, depending on the expansiveness of somebody's debts or assets. It's a pretty big deal. And of course, the government likes to take money where they can. So this is just maybe a public service announcement more than anything about, look into how you have your assets set up and make sure that you have them accounted for. And hey, if you don't, it's a great opportunity this year to make time, schedule it, get with an estate attorney. It's worth the money to get somebody to set it up correctly for you. If you have any questions on this, please reach out. We deal with it a lot. We can even point you in the right direction for any good estate attorneys. So let us know.